Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is November the 22nd, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Still sick watch. It's still ongoing. Waking up with mucus, it seems like I'm going to be going to sleep with mucus. I will say though, today has been better. Really just kind of stuck to just trying to stay hydrated, drink fluids. But yeah, we're marching through it. Happy Friday to ya. Hopefully this energy catches ya. I know I'm posting actually by the time this is up. It's going to be a little bit later. So hopefully you get that Friday energy whenever you're going to press play. Hopefully, you're just feeling it. You're being imbibed by it right now. Woo, 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 woo. But yeah, no, we are keeping on. We are carrying on. I will say today was a good day. New Kendrick Lamar album dropped, GNX. It was amazing. I was literally in my dumpster laughing, dancing. At one point, I cried. I want to explain real quick why I cried. I'm not just trying to over here glaze Kendrick, but I listened to the Heart Part 6, and first off, I was like, damn. One, love this dude. He did not let Drake stop him, impede him in any way, shape, form, or fashion, which I think we all knew. But something about that song really, and that wasn't even maybe my favorite song. I think the name's escaping me, but the intro song, the first song is like he comes out the gate. But the Hard Part 6 really touched me because just listening to him kind of tell a come up story. I always love when a rapper I like has that kind of moment. And I mean, Kendrick's done that in so many ways, but just that really just hit, and him just kind of talking about his just him knowing he was going to get there and just kind of waiting for the time to happen. I don't know. It just hit, and it was just so great. And it made me think, not that I'm successful or anything like that, but it made me take positive stock in my life and the people around me, and how I care about them, and I'm so happy to have them in my life. And I care so much that I have groups of people who love me and care about me so much that they listen to this stupid shit. You know what I mean? So, and then I'm going to, a family friend's Thanksgiving next week, and they love and care about me. It's just one of those things where it's it's always good to take stock and really cherish what you have. So kudos to Kendrick for allowing to make an album that made me do that. Damn, it really had me just hands up. It was great. So hell yeah. Let's see what else went on today. Work was really busy, but we got through it. I'm gonna be doing some overtime work tomorrow. Let's see. There's really not much else to really report. Let's go ahead and segue to the food corner. Saunter on over there. What did I eat? I had a soup night. I had chicken tortilla soup, and I had piece of ciabatta bread, big piece of ciabatta bread I sliced in half. And then I had some pretzels, these little pretzel bites, salted them up, put some butter on them, salted them up, put it all in the air fryer, the breads and stuff. I wish you could put soup in the air fryer. Maybe you can, I don't know. But everything came out nice, yummy. It was great. And I also had a thing of Land O'Lakes cheese, which one of my friends roasted me for, which is fair. It was not the best cheese, but it accomplished what I wanted. You know what I mean? Essentially, when I was at the mall, I think I kind of vaguely mentioned this, I wanted to eat everything. So literally the next day at the grocery store, I was like, yeah, give me those pretzels. And I was just looking for an opportunity to eat them. So I still have probably more than half a bag. I got to figure that out with my life. But yeah, it was a good little meal. I enjoyed it. Usually I like to keep it nice and light for my my soup meal. But, I was like, I'll splurge a little on these pretzels and cheese. Why not? And I got to tell you, bullshit aside, you can roast the Land O'Lakes or not. Dip in some fucking hot ciabatta bread and cheese. Oh my God. Had me on my knees. So yeah, that's the food corner. That was my day. Hopefully you had a great and amazing day as well. Y'all give me your energy, please. I gotta get through this cold. I'm so sick of having the sniffles. My nose is just clogged. I can't. Ugh, I hate it. But we're fine. We're okay. I want to do some corrections and then I'll do the startup. Normally, I kind of do the startup and get into it, but I don't want to fuck it up. So I had mentioned the missiles, referencing the excuse me, Ukraine Russia situation. Russia launched what I had said was an intercontinental missile. It turns out it was an experimental missile, and it looks like it's some kind of intermediate range, medium range. But essentially, Putin's been kind of using this little new thing to kind of flex his power a bit in the way of saying, hey, if you guys are gonna fucking, do the shit what you're doing with Ukraine, we're gonna show you that we have a new missile here that we can use to hit any kind of target we want. And we also just made a new treaty that essentially is saying, hey, if we want to hit some of your bases, whoever's helping out Ukraine, they kind of kept it vague, but essentially they meant anyone in the West. I'm probably assuming a lot of focus on the US there. We can hit you up. We will. And like these, ballistic missiles, they could still be armed with nuclear warheads. In this situation that I mentioned in the other day, it wasn't, but it's still doing a lot of damage. It's still very relevant, right? The other correction I wanted to do, maybe a bit lighter, see if I can finesse this properly. It's on David Seymour. Now, I said he was of Maori descent, and I said he was a Maori, and he is, but he is of Maori ancestry. And I feel like I have to say it that way, and I kind of have to leave a little bit of a pregnant pause. So that you know what I mean by that, okay? Like, go Google a picture of David Seymour. Just look him up, and you go, oh, okay. And I'm gonna make this comparison. Please don't be mad at me. Please don't come for me. It's like when you have a friend or someone you're talking to, and they go, yeah, I'm like 2/8 Cherokee or some shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, cool. And then they start like segueing into how they like, they also know what the struggle of a black and brown person. It's like, no, brother. I think okay, all right. I don't want to say more if I speak. So yeah, I wanted to get those two corrections out of the way. Let me actually go ahead and just close those out. Moving on. Let's go ahead and do our startup and get into the news. Sorry, you're going to hear me doing that. No editor. All right. From the Independent. U.S. Embassy in London locked down after loud bang as armed police swoop on suspect package. Excuse me. The U.S. Embassy was placed in lockdown as armed officers swooped on a suspicious package that is now thought to have been a hoax device. Armed officers from the Met Police arrived at the building in Nine Elms, southwest London, following reports of a suspicious package at around 10 a.m. on Friday. The embassy was immediately locked down as a police unit carried out a controlled explosion of the item within a cordoned area, said to have caused a loud bang. People who had been queuing up for visa appointments were locked inside for more than an hour before being sent home, while staff remained inside as officers searched the area. Excuse me. In a statement at around 1 p.m., the force said initial indications are that the item was a hoax device. An investigation will now follow. So yeah, this was a development that took place, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a bit crazy. Let's see. In a statement posted on social media platform X at about 10 a.m., the Metropolitan Police said, "We can confirm that the loud bang reported in the area a short time ago was a controlled explosion carried out by officers." So I'm glad that this didn't wind up becoming something lethal That's a good thing. That's good news, but it's definitely scary. It's definitely, a bit spooky, a bit ominous, right? Also, from reading this article, I didn't see that they caught a suspect or have any kind of leads on that. So I imagine in the future, I will keep you guys and gals and MBs posted. Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next bump, but give me 1 second. I forgot to turn off the heat before I press record. Usually I do that because it gets hot when I kind of close the room, the a la studio. So yeah, hold on. This is why I do not do visual. All right, all right, all right. Excuse me, wow, I had to get a little magic mic with it. From the Hill. Florida man arrested over plot to bomb NYSC to reset U.S. government. I love the times we're living in. It's great times. A Florida man, which also love a Florida man. A Florida man was arrested on Wednesday over an alleged plot to bomb the New York Stock Exchange, or the NYSE, to reset the U.S. government, according to unsealed documents. Harun Abdul Malik Yanir, a South Florida resident, was charged with attempting to use an improvised explosive device to damage or destroy a building used in interstate or foreign commerce, according to court documents. FBI agents started probing Yanir in February after getting a tip that he was storing bomb schematics in an unlocked Coral Springs, Florida storage unit. That's crazy that you have any of these kind of machinations and you're leaving them under unlocked doors. Like, first and foremost, that's crazy work to me. Like, it is giving Florida man, but it's giving like Florida man with the sense of like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, I got a little bit of privilege here. No one's gonna come from my storage unit and check it. No, we're gonna be fine. No, apparently maybe they did. Let's see here. Let's keep going. Yanir told Yanir told law enforcement officials in early March that he previously tried to join a domestic extremist group and had experience with making rockets and bombs. He also told agents that he considered joining ISIS and fighting for them in 2015 in Iraq, but decided not to because he thought that ISIS would not end up achieving their objectives, according to the complaint. Not to give ISIS any credit, but they were a little bit more effective than you were, that's for sure. He told an FBI undercover employee that he wanted to deploy and detonate his improvised device on the New York Stock Exchange. The target date to carry out the bombing would have been November 18th, wanting to attain a reboot and or reset of the United States government. Which I'm like, brother, we live in a digital age. Like, I do not think hitting a building like that is going to do this grand reset. Like, this is like Y2K mentality, like as if like we're gonna do some kind of thing here, and because I hit this place, oh, it's all over, baby. We did it. It's revolution time. Like, clean slate. Like, no, man. Like, this was a dumb idea that was only going to hurt people potentially if he had gotten his way. So obviously, I'm very glad that he was not successful. I'm glad that the FBI was on it. It's just very rare that I give any kind of law enforcement props, so take it and run. When planning the explosive, Yanir planned to wear a disguise and record a message to be sent to news media saying the explosion, like a small nuke, went off, and that anything outside the building will be wiped out and anything inside there would be killed, the Florida resident said, according to the complaint. On November 12th, Yanir made multiple audio recordings and allegedly discussed having them sent to NBC News the same day or a day after the bombing. At the time, he allegedly told an undercover agent, "I feel like bin Laden," according to investigators. He said, "Bitch, I feel like bin Laden right now. Shit, I'm on 10 right now. I'm about to press the button." Yo, like, come on, man. That's crazy. That's crazy work. That's really all we have for that article. Let's move on from some explosions to a bit of crypto. Let's dive in. Let's see what's up with that. From Complex, teen streamer, which is a crazy start to this. Teen streamer creates crypto coin, makes $30,000 before dumping it. Teen streaming is very bad. Anyway, yeah, man, what a grift. What a young grifter. What a young entrepreneur. What a young go-getter, hustler. No, this is a bad kid. This is a little bad apple, all right? The streamer, Money Kid, that's what I want to call him. It's dollar sign kid, but I'm going to call him Money Kid. The streamer, Money Kid, who happens to be a 13-year-old, created a cryptocurrency and immediately pump and dumped it during a live stream. Per Decrypt, the young streamer created a meme coin named Gen Z Quaint, or dollar sign Quaint, via the Solana based platform Pump Fun, which is crazy that anyone involved in putting money into this was like, I'm going to go on to Pump Fun and put some money in. This is a no brainer. This is a winner. Uh, like, I don't want to blame victims here, but this is sucker mentality. Please don't do this. Like, I am not trying to fucking poo poo on, crypto to that extent. I'm not trying to yuck your yum, but like, you have to be careful. Like, not just with watching a market or whatever, but like these schemes and scams, like rug pulls are real, dude. Like, don't get fucking caught in the fucking crypto zoo. All right. We might touch on that a little bit, but, let's see. Let's continue. Once it picked up some attention, he immediately sold his stake in the currency for a profit and flipped off his viewers. Which, there's a picture of that if you can go find it. It's very funny. I wish I could have used it for that thumbnail, but I didn't want to get clapped up. But it, like, and he goes from like, oh my god, and he like, oh fuck you. Like, and I will say, I gotta fuck with that energy. I love it, like Calvin piss on the fucking ground ass fucking kid at the end of the day. Mainly because I don't have to deal with them. If I have to deal with them in my vicinity, I would be very upset. But let's keep going. There's some like pictures, like little thumbnails of it. If you want to, if you're on Complex, you can click it. The move prompted a lot of reactions on social media, with many laughing off the viral clip and others criticizing the streamer for engaging in a pump and dump scheme despite not having been old enough to drive. He has since made two further meme coins. One named dollar sign Lucy, and the other named dollar sign Sorry. So I mean, that's more or less where I want to leave this for now. I am curious if there's going to be any kind of statement from, like, I don't know, maybe not law enforcement, but at least like, SEC or some shit. I don't fucking know. You would think some kind of regulatory body would come in and say something about this shit, but that just kind of, has me thinking once again to crazy times at hand, because we have, excuse me, Donald Trump coming in office. So at the end of the day, I do wonder, I speculate here, my speculation hat is on, like, are we going to have more crypto scams, more rug pulls? Kind of, once again, talking about Logan Paul a little bit here. Plenty of major figures in the cryptocurrency space have been accused of misleading fans, including YouTuber Logan Paul, who recently sent a lookalike to a BBC interview when asked for a comment about his involvement in a crypto scheme. By the way, that shit was crazy. Literally, he sends like this guy who looks like him if he was on crack or meth or something. And it's like, the BBC interviewer's like, where's Logan Paul? He's like, you're talking to him, bud? Like, what's up? Well, let's have this interview. And dude's like the interviewer's like immediately put off. He's like, no, I came here to interview Logan Paul. And the dude just keeps egging it on. And dude just more or less just winds up getting up and going. Which is like such troll behavior, but it's so par of the course for someone like Logan Paul. He went from the Suicide Force shit in Japan to this shit. So, he really didn't change too much. He did some boxing along the way, and then it was like, you know what? Maybe it's time for me to shift into Griff mode. And he did with the Crypto Zoo. But that's a whole other thing. I don't want to get in the weeds about that. This Complex article also references Mr. Beast, and a thing we did talk about in terms of him and cryptocurrency and doing some scheming a little bit. Content creator CoffeeZilla, meanwhile, has shared an extensive investigation into megastar YouTuber Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast's moves in the cryptocurrency space, accusing him of insider trading. Now, I want to kind of tone this back a bit per Complex. I actually did listen to this, not that I'm speaking for them or anything, but I would say that CoffeeZilla does a really good job of kind of saying, hey, I'm going to say where I think this is really fucked up what they're doing, but I'm not going to go as far as to actively say that I can say that it's fully legal. Like, I was glad he broke it down the way he did, because I still feel like he more or less says, hey, I'm going to leave it up to you, the audience, to be like, do you think what he did was illegal? But I'll explain, the all the evidence and everything I've gathered. And essentially he's like, yeah, there's one big wallet, and like a cryptocurrency wallet, and a lot of schemes kind of wind up flowing through this wallet, at least in terms of like Bitcoin money, coming in and out of it for this or that thing. But essentially, it's not just Mr. Beast who's attached to that wallet. So it kind of lends to this kind of plausible deniability. So that's more or less why I think CoffeeZilla doesn't like come out and say, hey, I know for a fact 100%. But he like reaches out to Mr. Beast, is everyone involved in this whole fucking thing that he can track down. And they all kind of like play a bit coy. They put like, legal statements up via, another party, whatever, that kind of shit, right? And essentially kind of skirt the conversation a bit. But it does seem, in my opinion, it feels pretty damning. Like, once again, it lent to me to say, oh, okay, Mr. Beast is not just YouTube obsessed. He really is a money obsessed guy at the end of the day. And it's like, hey, that's not crazy. If anything, that normalized him a bit more for me. It's like, no, he's just a grifter scammer motherfucker. He really is no different. He's not just some like Alpha Prime YouTuber guy. He is just a guy who wants to make as much money as possible, and he's a freak about YouTube. You can do both. Like, it's possible. So I was glad that Complex kind of mentioned this, because it was a good way just to kind of reference both Logan Paul and Mr. Beast. Some crypto guys. Ooh, I can hear my voice rattling like that sounds so bad. I'm gonna take a water break, and we have a couple more stories to go. Oh boy. Hoo-wee. From BBC. Fifth tourist dies as after suspected tainted drinks in Laos. British lawyer Simone White has become the fifth tourist to have died in a suspected mass poisoning in Laos, Southeast Asia. The UK's Foreign Office confirmed the 28-year-old's death on Thursday, saying, "We are supporting the family of a British woman who has died in Laos, and we are in contact with the local authorities." It comes after a family of 19-year-old Australian national Bianca Jones confirmed her death earlier on the same day. Hours earlier, the U.S. Department told the media that an American man died in the tourist town of Vang Ving. I'm sure I'm getting that wrong in the pronunciation there. Two Danish women, aged 19 and 20, also died last week in Laos, Danish authorities confirmed, declining to share more due to confidentiality concerns. The deaths remain under police investigation, but news reports and testimonies online from other tourists suggest they may have consumed drinks laced with methanol, a deadly substance often found in bootleg alcohol. Now, ethanol, you can use that to get drunk. That can be like an alcoholic thing or whatever. But methanol is a lethal thing that sometimes I guess people will use as like a bootleg way to cut alcohol and make it, really potent. But it's like you're potentially killing someone. And that's more or less what's seemingly happening in Laos right now. Now, I actually stumbled on this story. I was actually looking for the next story that we're about to cover, and I was like, oh, okay, all right. But I did want to leave off on this bit of extra news here that they have at the end. Earlier this year, at least 57 people in India died after consuming methanol-laced liquor. Similar cases of mass poisoning have also been reported across the world, from the Philippines to Peru. It has hospitalized even killed dozens in Indonesia over the years, but it has rarely affected tourists, which is really sad, because essentially what is being said here is like, well, it's making the news because, Westerners and shit are dying off of it. They're drinking like methanol laced vodka and fucking croaking. And so it's like, oh, okay. But like, if this was isolated to the country, this is kind of happens every day, and you just kind of, you stick and move with it. You move on, you march on. But hey, that's why I was like, hey, let me go ahead and talk about that because I hadn't covered that, and that's apparently just been a thing. Like that happened this year in India. Damn. But yeah, this was a story that I was going to get to. We've been so busy. There's been so much news. But I was like, no, we're gonna get to it tonight. So let me take my last break, and we will go ahead and get through this. This is whew. That girl is poison. Anyway, that's the hand I'm dropping here. Sorry, I had to badly sing Belle Biv DeVoe there. Once again from the BBC. Death penalty for Thai woman accused of murdering 14 friends with cyanide. A woman in Thailand has been sentenced to death in the first of a string of cases in which she is accused of murdering 14 friends with cyanide. Friends like that, huh? With a friend like that, I should say. The court in Bangkok found Sarat, oh, and I'm totally going to get this wrong, Rangsiwuthaporn, 36, guilty of putting poison in a wealthy friend's food and drink while they were on a trip last year. Relatives of the friend refused to accept as she died of natural causes, and an autopsy found traces of cyanide in her body. Police arrested Sarat and uncovered other similar deaths going back to 2015. One person she allegedly targeted survived, which is crazy. It's crazy that people were just like, oh, and I get that not connecting the dots in terms of like, yes, this, which they dub her Am Cyanide, which we'll call her for the rest of it. So they kind of figured like Am Cyanide, okay, you're here, but you're not connected to these and these things. Like all of these in like different places. Like they're not going to kind of do that kind of work, but you would expect like a thorough autopsy to find the cyanide, because when they go back, they go, oh, yeah, there are telltale signs here. We should have known. But they just didn't connect the dots, and they just kind of just went to it's kind of the bumbling thing. You know how cops can be. It's like, okay, yeah, this looks like it's just a normal death. Oh, it's very unfortunate. It's very sad. But yes, police say Sarat, dubbed Am Cyanide by Thai media, had a gambling addiction and targeted friends she owed money to, then stole their jewelry and valuables. Sarat traveled with her friend Siriporn Kawang, 32, to Ratchaburi province west of Bangkok in April 2023, where they took part in a Buddhist protection ritual at a river, police said. Siriporn collapsed and died after a meal with Sarat, who made no effort to help her, investigators said. Traces of cyanide were found in Siriporn's body, and her phone, money, and bags were missing when she was found. You got justice, my child, today. There is justice in this world. Siriporn's mother, Tongpin Kayachan Siri, said in front of the courtroom as she held a photo of her daughter. Let's see here. Looks like her former husband, an ex-police officer, and her lawyer were handed prison terms of 1 year and 4 months and 2 years, respectively, for hiding evidence to help her evade prosecution. They also pleaded not guilty before Wednesday's sentencing. The ex-husband, Vitun I know I said it earlier, Rangsiwuthaporn, gave himself up last year. Police said he most likely helped Sarat poison an ex-boyfriend, Suthisak Pukwan. Sarat was also ordered to pay Siriporn's family 2 million baht, or $57,667, or 45,446 pounds, since this is the BBC, in compensation. So yeah, hell of a story. I really was like, I normally like, I like a true crime story. I can't lie. They entice me. I find them fascinating. Obviously very fucked up, but like you just don't hear a poison story very often, right? Like I feel like we covered one last year or this year where like everyone in the room died and like it literally was like a murder mystery kind of thing. But I think it was like alleged in that situation that the person who poisoned the room like had some money debts and they accidentally poisoned themselves in the process. So it was like a whole fucking thing. So I was like, damn, okay, another one kind of like this. But it was like, actually, no, she was like poisoning her homies and like getting away with it. So crazy shit. But that is where we'll leave it for today. I know this was a bit of a longer episode. Not as long as I expected, but still long enough. Excuse me. Let me chill for a second. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. If you'd like to help out, support the effort. I do have a Patreon, or I just said that. I'm stumbling, I'm fumbling. You become a newsie today though, and I shout you out at the top of the month. It's coming up soon. I plug a project if you like, things of that nature. Free ways to hit me up. gmail.com/Isaiah News. Isaiah News1@gmail.com. Oh man, we're just falling apart here. The socials, if you got one, I'm probably on there. I know I'm on Blue Sky. I know people have been kind of making that move. I'm seeing more people on there now. It's still boring though, but like, hey, if you see me on there, say hello. But yeah, I mean, there's that or any of the usuals. Subscribe to the YouTube. That's free. Hit the like button, leave a comment, and hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.